Baba is giving us the direction to practice being bodiless. And Baba says, when you go to sleep, then you're bodiless. And then when everybody is sleeping in the house, then there is so much of, silence. There is an atmosphere of complete stillness and silence. And in Hindi it is called sannata. So, this pin drop silence and this deep experience of silence that happens when we are bodiless. And Baba says that you are bodiless every day when you sleep. But these days, most people do not have deep sleep also. And because that deep sleep is not there, that's why there is even the bodies or the minds are not recharged. So if somebody doesn't get good sleep, then they always feel that I'm not feeling recharged enough. But let's understand sleep. So what happens in sleep, or how do you go to sleep, and how is sleep and bodilessness connected? So have you seen that when you go to sleep, then there are usually some thoughts that are going on in your mind. And when you go to sleep, then those thoughts, they are there in your mind and they are going on. And then somewhere, after going to the bed, you make a decision to sleep. Yes, so maybe if you're getting up at 4 or 3:30, then you take that decision to go to sleep at 10 or 10:30. Yes, so you tell yourself that it's already late and I have to get up in the morning, so I better sleep. So when you make that decision, then in your mind you tell yourself that I do not care about whatever is pending or whatever you were thinking about earlier. So, earlier everything in the world seems very important and you feel that you have to think about this and you have to think about that. But then when you make a decision to go to sleep, then you just let go of every thought, every concern of the old world. And you make that decision and detach from this old world. And as soon as you detach, you are bodiless. And then when you're bodiless, you experience the peace, the tranquility that's your original nature. And in that bodiless state, obviously you draw in energy from your sweet home and Baba and everyone, and in that state there is a recharging going on. So the most important thing about connection, to the beyond is disconnecting from the here and now. So, one aspect of yoga we always pay a lot of attention to, and that aspect is, connecting to Baba, connecting to our sweet home, or anchoring my awareness to the sweet home. But equally important is this aspect of disconnecting. So if I don't disconnect my mind and buddhi, if I don't withdraw my attention and my thoughts from this old world, then how can I take it to the new world or to my sweet home or to Baba? And Baba says that this is why practice being bodiless. So, the same thing that you do when you go to sleep, which is you just tell yourself that I don't I don't have to think about anything of this world now. I just have to sleep. Just like that, all through the day, we don't generally, now that we are in Gyan, we do, but then in the world, nobody makes a decision to unplug from the world and the thoughts and the attention of the world. So, being bodiless is about unplugging your attention from this old world and withdrawing your thoughts from the old world and taking them to, being aware about your sweet form of light, or about Baba, or about the soul world. But basically, disconnecting and unplugging from the thoughts and attention of the soul world, and knowing that you are a being of peace, a being of light. So this is the practice of bodilessness, and this practice of bodilessness is what Baba recommends. And I have to ask myself, do I practice being bodiless? So I am not a body, I am a soul. And do I practice that I'm completely separate from this old world, from this body, and I'm just a being of light? And do I take out time during the day and in Amrit Vela to just, sit in this awareness that I am a being of light and I have no connection whatsoever with this body and this old world, and just stabilizing yourself in that point form, being of light, a child of Baba, resident of the soul world. So just anchoring yourself in your spiritual introduction and knowing yourself as a soul, as Baba's child, as a resident of the soul world, and not someone who belongs here. So Baba says, practice being bodiless. And Baba has told us that, and today's Murli is all about settling karmic accounts, being a conqueror of sin. And when you want to settle karmic accounts, then this practice of bodilessness is very, very important. And especially when, when the karmic settlement comes through physical illness. So Janki Dadiji used to always say that, whenever she had long periods of physical illness and that whole pain and that whole period, that time frame in which there was an illness affecting the body, then Dadi used to just, sit in peace or lie in peace, and then somebody would ask her, what are you doing, Dadi? So Dadi would say that I am being bodiless and allowing the illness to pass. So, when you are bodiless, then at that time, anything of the body, in the old world, you're kind of immune to their effect. Just like, when you're sleeping, are you not immune to whatever is happening around you? Even with the body, I have experienced that, if there is a lot of heat, let's say there is a power cut, and then it's summer, and then you are in deep sleep, then maybe when you get up, you're sweating because of the heat, but you don't feel that when you were deep sleep, when you were in deep sleep. And when you get up, you realize that, there was so much of there's so much heat in the room, and there's so much, sweating in the body, but you don't realize it while you're in deep sleep. You get up and realize that. Or maybe, when the temperature around is very cold, then sometimes, you get up and you realize that you've caught a cold because you were not, the blanket was not there, or it's pretty cold outside and you caught a cold, but you didn't realize it when you were in deep sleep. So in deep sleep, whatever is happening to the body, or whatever the sounds are around you, or whatever is happening in and around you, the temperature, the pain, anything, you don't feel. Even when your body is in acute pain and you fall asleep, you don't feel the pain. Now Baba says this is the power of bodilessness. And if based on Gyan we practice being bodiless, then what happens? We come to that stage where, so one thing is, so when you have to apply something in desperate times, you have to practice in peace. So when there are no challenges, especially in the morning hours, in Amrit Vela, and through the day, normally when circumstances are okay, just practice being bodiless. Practice too much. And then when you practice it a lot, then what happens when there is a challenge in the body, or when there is some pain happening in the body, or something around you which is going on, which is pulling your attention, but you don't want to focus on it, then you can apply this capacity to be bodiless there. And when you use this consciousness, or this the spiritual drill of being bodiless, you just position yourself in your bodiless state, then anything that is happening around you or in the body will pass and you will not be affected by it. So today Baba is saying that you practice being bodiless, and then Baba says that when bodiless souls will leave the world, then there'll be absolute silence in this world, absolute stillness and peace in this world. So this is something. And then today Baba is talking about Satyug, and very beautiful things about Satyug, and Baba is giving us a window into what Satyug would be like. And today Baba says that when you go to Satyug, then you will not need to learn to make palaces, or you will not need to learn a lot of things, but what you will learn is language. So Baba says you will build palaces, beautiful palaces, there'll be beautiful architecture, creativity, everything, but you will not need to go to school for that. And Baba today says that your buddhi is so sato pradhan, it is so pure, that you will not need to learn how to build something or create something. Now I was just thinking, this thing about we will not need to learn architecture, or we will not need to learn maybe to build palaces or design some things, but we will need to learn language. Now why? Because you see that when a soul is pure, when a soul is in sato pradhan state, when a soul is in the state of complete purity, then the soul has a natural sense of how to work with the body, how to engage with other souls, and how to engage with the 5 elements of nature. So when the soul is sato pradhan, then the soul has a natural harmony with souls and nature. So this state of natural harmony gives you a natural sense of what to do with the 5 elements of nature, how to work with them, or how to engage with souls. You don't need to learn these skills there. So, these days people are learning. So, people are learning communication skills. But who learns communication skills? You need to learn communication skills when the soul is depleted. Because communication is something that comes naturally to the soul. So you know how to convey your feelings, you know how to convey your heart, you know how to engage with love and respect. That's something a soul knows. So, when I am a pure soul is knowledgeful, peaceful, loveful, blissful, powerful, and pure. So that soul which is complete, which is full in itself, you know how to engage with the 5 elements of nature, you know how to engage with other souls, and you don't need to learn that. You don't need to, you don't need to learn how to work with the 5 elements of nature. So nobody has to teach you how to, what is a house or a palace created of? The 5 elements of nature. So that's why it comes naturally to you. You know how to work with the 5 elements. You know how to create something out of the 5 elements. But what you need to learn is language, because language is man-made. Language is man-made. So whatever is man-made, you need to learn. The number system is man-made. The number system is not natural. In the natural order of things, there is one. In the natural order of things, is there a less than or a greater than? So in nature, is there a less than or a greater than? So does nature tell you that 1 is less than 2 and 2 is greater than 1? No, this is man-made. This is what humans create. Assigning meaning to words, assigning connotations and denotations to words. This is something that humans do. So language is a creation of the human mind. So this is why language in Satyug has to be studied. But you don't need to study to work with the 5 elements of nature, or you don't need to study to work with souls. So you are in complete harmony. And when you are in complete harmony with someone or something, then you know them, their heart speaks to you. Yes. And when you are in disharmony, then you need to learn, you need to develop skills and this and that. But when you are in harmony, then the soul and the other elements of nature, they speak to you. You can communicate to them, you can work with them with your natural sense that comes from your purity. So this is something very beautiful that Baba says. And then Baba says that in Satyug, when you go to the school to learn language, then you will go in your Viman, in your Pushpak Viman. So can you see yourself going in your Pushpak Viman, in your own little aeroplane, and that too, driven by thoughts, no machinery there, it's not some technology that works on buttons and fuel and this and that. It's driven by thought power. And you take that Viman and go to school, and then you learn the language there. And then Baba says that in Satyug, nature never causes you distress. So, when the soul is Sato Pradhan, there is so much harmony that you don't have to ever you don't have to ever concerned about whether there will be a flood in the river or there'll be some problem created by the five elements of nature, because a sato pradhan soul is in harmony with nature. And how do you achieve this harmony? Through your own purity. So, these days, the more impure the soul is becoming, the more violent nature is also becoming, because the harmony between souls and nature is getting disrupted. So, this is why you remember there was a time when the clouds used to signal before it rained. So it never rained all of a sudden. So when we were growing up, I saw that, there would be clouds would come and there would be thunder, and then we would get the signal that it's going to rain, and then we would just go indoors and then it would rain. But now it's different. Now, it's as if every element of nature is trying to surprise us or shock us, and they come all of a sudden. Everything comes all of a sudden. Why? Because that harmony is lost. When the soul becomes very impure, then the elements of nature start bringing shocks into our lives, and we don't have that harmony where they do not trouble us, or they actually take permission from us. So in Satyug, Baba says that even the trees would move at a pace and in a flow which you would like, or the birds would sing the song you like, your heart likes, not because the bird is a slave, but because you are a pure soul, and every element of nature is in love with a pure soul, and they are in harmony with a pure soul. And when that purity is lost, then there is this disharmony where every element of nature, we feel like they are trying to trouble us or cause trouble to us. So this is something that Baba is saying. And Baba today says that in Satyug we will not have civilization on the sea, because you see, on the sea there is salt water, and civilizations are also were always created in and around sweet water. So the water of the rivers. And Baba says Karachi, Bombay, these civilizations will not exist in Satyug, because these civilizations these areas came into existence because the sea water, it receded, and then this land was cleared, and then people started living there. But Baba says we don't live near the ocean, we will be in and around rivers that supply sweet water. And then Baba today says that everything in Satyug will be first class. So there will be gardens, and Baba says that every soul will have a big place to live in. And Baba says as big as Abu. So Baba says, one person's palace will be as big as Abu. So the king's palace will be as big as Abu. That is what Baba is saying today. And then Baba says that the fruits and will have a different taste. It will not taste like it does now. So even now, when we compare the taste of the fruits, so everything in the world, when you compare it to the taste of the fruits, so fruits are so fresh in taste, so recharging. And then Baba says that these fruits are not even close to what the sweetness of the fruits would be in Satyug, or what the taste would be like. And Baba especially mentions mangoes. And Brahma Baba loved mangoes. So, and it is the mango season also. So, Baba says the mangoes in Satyug will be very, very delicious and not like this. And I was just wondering, and these days, I was just thinking, so these days we don't enjoy any taste. I think the only taste we enjoy is salt and sugar. So, you add salt to everything, you add sugar to everything, and there is nothing like natural taste these days. So, I remember, when we were, even 20 years back or 25 years back, every vegetable had a distinct taste. So, when they cooked the vegetable, it had a flavor, it had a taste, it had an aroma. But these days, all vegetables you cook, they are the same. The only taste you get is the salt and the sugar. That's why, you keep adding salt and sugar to everything. And these days, even fruits or salad, it's the dressing that counts. And these days, whatever you eat, you fill it with cheese and mayonnaise and this and that. So all that is happening because that natural taste is gone. And I think, it's also about it's about the taste and the taste buds also. So, when you become when the soul becomes impure, then the only taste you feel is the taste that comes from salt and sugar, and no other taste you are able to feel. So, it's always high intensity that you're looking for. You're not able to relish the mild tastes or the sweet flavors. And I was just thinking, in one of the Murlis, Baba said that in Satyug there will be no salt and sugar. So in Satyug, so salt and sugar is a very processed thing. So when it's processed, the sugar is processed, the salt is processed. And Baba says, in Satyug, you don't add salt and sugar to anything. Everything is in its natural taste. And you are a Satopradhan soul. You are able to experience that taste and you are able to appreciate that taste. But of course, you are not a slave of your taste buds. So you are not attached to the taste. So all this about Satyug, and it was really beautiful to, and today Baba says that, you will have a palace, and that palace would have gardens which will be much better than the Mughal garden. And you see, the Mughal garden in Delhi is a very popular garden, and it's attached to the President House, and it's a very prestigious garden. And I was just thinking, people they try to see the Mughal garden, and I also went a few years back to see the Mughal garden while I was working with the ministry. And so people are really, they feel very happy seeing the Mughal garden. And Baba says even the Mughal garden would be nothing in front of the gardens of Satyug. And it really made my heart very happy to think about Satyug so much today. And when you think about Satyug, Satyug is so beautiful. And think about when we will be in Satyug, how would it feel? But the thing that we learn from this whole, this whole knowing of Satyug is, I have to be motivated to follow Baba's directions right now, so that I can get this inheritance of Satyug, and I go to Satyug and I live in that world. And today I will take one direction that Baba is giving, and Baba says that, the soul is the soul had lost its wings, and because the soul lost its wings, so the soul could not fly. And now Baba teaches us how to fly, and Baba says now you can, because you can fly, you can perform the spiritual pilgrimage. So when somebody wants to go on a pilgrimage, nowadays it's different because you can take helicopters and this and that. But earlier, when somebody wanted to go on a pilgrimage, so the requisite was you have to be physically fit. And these days also, when you go for higher altitudes, it is very important that you're medically, physically fit. Similarly, Baba says that when you go on a spiritual pilgrimage, if you don't have the wings of knowledge and yoga, you cannot go on a spiritual pilgrimage. So Baba says the soul's wings are lost, and now Baba gives the wings of knowledge and yoga. And with that, you go on the spiritual pilgrimage. So do you understand that the soul goes on a spiritual pilgrimage? And where do we go? We go to the soul world. We go to Baba, who is sitting in the soul world. We go to our sweet new world of Satyug that's coming. And how does the soul go to these pilgrimages? So what is a pilgrimage? A pilgrimage is a pure place, a place of purity. So Baba says when you go to Baba, that's like going on a pilgrimage. When you go to your sweet world of purity, that's like going on a pilgrimage. And when you go to Satyug, that's like going on a pilgrimage, because these are the pure places. But Baba says you cannot physically go there. Can you physically go to Baba? Can you physically go to Satyug right now? No. So Baba says the soul goes to these places. And how does the soul travel? The soul has the mind and intellect with which it travels. So when you travel into another person's mind, how do you do that? You do that with your own mind and intellect. Do you go into the past? How do you go there? You go with your mind and intellect. Do you go into the future and worry about it? Yes. How do you go there? With your man and buddhi. Now you see, Maya teaches us to go into the past, into the future, and into the analysis of the other. And because of these, we become very unhappy, disturbed, lose our peace. But now Baba teaches us through the power of knowledge and yoga. Baba teaches us how to take our mind and buddhi to Baba. Baba teaches us how to take our mind and buddhi to the soul world and to the new world that is coming. And this is a spiritual pilgrimage. And Baba says, when you learn yoga, then it's like you have wings and you can fly. And the more you perform this pilgrimage, the more you anchor your buddhi into those pure places based on this power of yoga that Baba is teaching you. So what is yoga? Consider yourself to be a soul and know that you can take your man and buddhi to Baba, to your sweet home and to the new world. And take your man and buddhi there and just sit there with Baba in that world of silence or in your world of harmony, and then absorb those vibrations and allow them to change your karma and sanskar here. So this is yoga. And Baba says, along with being a spiritual pilgrim, you are also a master guide. So Baba says, I am the guide who comes and teaches you how to take your buddhi to the soul world, to Baba. And Baba says any guide can only teach you to go where they have been. And Baba says, I have been in the soul world, so I come from there and I teach you how to go there with your man and buddhi. And Baba says, now you also become master guides. And you also teach everybody. You give the knowledge and you teach everybody how to take their man and buddhi there. Yes, so it's so beautiful, that in the world people become spiritual, people become guides to take people to physical pilgrimages. Yes, and they are called Pandey. And these Pandays are in India. You go to any spiritual pilgrimage, any physical pilgrimage, there will be a guide and they will take you to places. They will take you to the temples and all. They will make you have darshan, and then they are held in very high esteem. So they are regarded as they are regarded in esteem. And Baba today says that you are those pandas that make the soul take a spiritual pilgrimage. So you are also, the best of the best. And Baba says a physical panda can become a spiritual guide, but a spiritual guide cannot become a physical guide again. So now we would not take people to, to any pilgrimage places which are physical. Now we know that the only true pilgrimage is taking the mind and buddhi to the soul world, to Baba, to the new home. Because what is the purpose of going on a pilgrimage? The purpose is to be pure. And you don't become pure by taking your body to a physical pilgrimage. You, the soul, have become impure. So when you, the soul, take your man and buddhi to Baba and to the soul world, then you become pure. So the purpose of going on a pilgrimage is fulfilled when you undertake the spiritual pilgrimage, not the physical one. Okay.